This video is for those who are feeling depressed or like they're in a dark place and want to bring more light into their lives. I was in a deep depression for about 6 months, and these were the things that I did that were really healing for me. And ultimately, they got me out of the darkness and brought me into the light. These are also useful tips for just overall keeping your vibration high, keeping your life light and peaceful. So let's get into the video. Number 1 is prayer and meditation. This is your time to turn to God for whatever it is that you need, whether that be more peace, love, support, protection. Find solace in your relationship with God. During my dark time, I prayed to God a lot and I meditated a lot. I asked for help when I needed, I read the Bible, and I also meditated to regulate my nervous system, and I would bring forth the feelings of peace, wholeness, and gratitude. Gratitude is super powerful, and it has the power to shift your perspective instantly whenever you're feeling like life isn't going your way. Now, while I'm not afraid to ask God for help or to be on my hands and knees even begging for help, I find that the best way for me to pray is to truly act as if God has already taken care of my needs. On days that I do not feel well, I would affirm that God was working through me, that God was healing me from the inside out, and that would help me so much. Number 2 is to get some sun. The sun is our source of energy and can be so healing. Sunlight boosts serotonin levels, your happy chemicals. It is also a source of vitamin D, which our bodies need. Vitamin D deficiency is said to be linked to depression and anxiety symptoms. It makes sense why people refer to those that are happy as a ray of sunshine or having a sunny personality. Also, in locations where it's sunny year-round, it is proven that the people that live there are happier compared to those who live in gloomier towns or cities. So, getting outside and sunbathing can be a spiritual experience if you let it, because the sun is the biggest and brightest light that we have here on Earth. It also has the power to ground you and connect you to your body. So even if it's just for 10 minutes every day, go outside. Close your eyes and feel the warmth of the sun on your body. Imagine the sun's rays as light codes healing every cell and every fiber of your body. Number 3 is to spend more time in nature. Spending time in nature allows you to connect to something larger than yourself. It allows you to be present and still and to appreciate the abundance of resources that exist on this planet. This can help alleviate stress and anxiety. Not only that, but being surrounded by greenery can increase oxygen levels in the air, making it easier for you to breathe deeply and comfortably. Typically, when people are feeling anxiety, they're feeling heavy and constricted and like the world is crashing down on them. So getting some fresh air can do a whole lot of a difference, because sometimes you just need to catch your breath. I personally love to go to the beach and breathe the fresh air of the ocean's breeze. Nature can truly heal you if you let it. I personally love the ocean because of the salt water, the cleansing effects it has on the energetic body. Salt water is also believed to absorb negative emotions and stagnant energies, allowing you to experience a sense of emotional renewal and liberation. I remember once I had a plant. She was the only plant I ever had. One time I left town for a few days, and at the time I lived in a studio apartment with a wall AC unit. So I turned it off, and when I came back, she looked completely dead, like completely dead. I think a lot of people would have thrown her away, but I watered her and I went to bed, and when I woke up in the middle of the night to use a bathroom, she had completely revived and was standing up, and she was so bright and so beautiful. I was in awe of her, and I truly recognized the life in her in the same way that I have life within me. And so it felt like having a companion. Sometimes having something else to take care for can really help you put more effort into yourself and into your surroundings. Which brings me to my next tip. Number 5 is to surround yourself with animals. If you have the time and can afford it, consider getting a pet. My dogs light up my world, and whenever I'm feeling off, all I do is go outside and sit with them. Their innate joy brings me so much comfort. There's no love like a dog's love, but truly any animal can bring joy and light into your life. If you can't take care of one, you can maybe go horseback riding, or visit a butterfly garden, or even go bird watching. I see animals as little earth angels. Sometimes all you need is love, and animals can surely give that to you. Obviously the right ones. We're not gonna be like petting lions and stuff. Okay, number 6 is to wear bright colors. Okay, this is really cool. There's actually something called color therapy that explains how your wardrobe could be affecting your mental health. For example, colors like red and black are more commonly associated with negative feelings, while colors like blue and green evoke feelings of calmness and happiness. So as much as you want to wear black, and trust me, I get it, I love wearing black, really try to do the opposite and see how it affects your mood. You'll even notice it affecting the mood of people around you. Do you ever notice how people tend to compliment you more when you wear poppier colors? Maybe it's just me, but I think that colors really brighten people's day. Tip number 7 is to be in community. Whenever we are feeling depressed or sad, our innate response is to isolate and be in solitude. Whether it's because we don't want to be around other people or burden other people, whatever you're feeling inclined to do from this feeling state, trust me, just do the opposite. Sometimes you need support, and this can look like going to a retreat or a support group to share what you're going through in a safe space, or it can be getting with friends and going on a trip or spending a day with them to just brighten your spirits and have some fun. Go to a comedy show and laugh. Spend time in nature with your friends. Get lost in joy, even if it's just for a second. If you're going to a retreat or a support group, this is going to help you realize that you are not alone. I remember my first retreat ever. I was in shock. A lot of times when we're down in the dumps, we think that life is out to get us. It's not. Life has its ups and downs, and being surrounded by people who are going through both ups and downs can really help put that into perspective. You realize many people feel the same way that you do, and in a weird way, it softens the pain and it even gets you out of victimhood. Number 8 is to start a passion project or a hobby that brings you joy. For me, that is creative expression. It is emotionally freeing for me to write, sing, dance, act, but find what works for you. That can be joining a sports team or refurbishing vintage furniture or drawing. Don't be afraid to get out whatever darkness you're feeling out on paper or through whatever creative outlet that you choose. In high school, my journal was so depressing, but eventually I had nothing left in me. Eventually you get sick and tired of creating the same thing over and over again, and that's when you'll choose to channel something different. I started to channel my writing into something positive. Number 9 is to listen to positive and upbeat music. Remember that music contains frequency, and it can even shift you from a happy mood to a sad one, depending on the lyrics and the frequency of the song. When you're feeling sad, it's common to want to feel the feelings by listening to sad music. I'm not saying to avoid your feelings either, but just be aware of yourself when you're doing it. Allow yourself the space to feel when emotions come, feel them, but then set boundaries into place so that you know when enough is enough. You have to remember that our bodies become addicted to certain emotions. So become aware as to what emotions you are addicted to and that you keep reverting back to. Give yourself the mic to express yourself when you're feeling them, but just recognize when the emotions are getting the best of you. You don't want your emotions to control you, which brings me to my last and most important tip. Number 10, learn how to feel in a healthy way. I come from a past of self-harming, not knowing how to deal with emotions at all, and having really poor coping skills. I just hated feeling, and it was mainly because I didn't know how to feel the feels in a healthy way. It wasn't until I started meditating, doing hypnosis, and practicing breathwork when I experienced what it felt like for emotions to just flow like water and to feel safe with them. At first, it's going to hurt, and if you're going through anything like heartbreak, it may feel like a sharp pain in your heart or a gaping wound, but your heart just needs healing. And the more that you heal your heart and fill it up with your own self-love, eventually you're going to experience emotions much differently. Crying for me feels different. It feels like a release of energy and emotion, but it doesn't feel like pain and loss. If you're feeling a sense of deep loss, then there's more to this that you need help with, and I encourage you to start therapy or a self-love practice, or even come and see me and we can do hypnosis to fill you back up again. Self-love is the key to feeling whole again. Well, that's it for today's video. I hope that it helped you. Remember that this light that you are in need of is within you. And so if you keep retreating inside and nurturing the way that you feel from the way that you live your life, brighter days will come. See you guys soon.